children really respond. Just some of the things that they come up with just really has opened my mind, my eyes to what children really, and they love to have a book in their hand. And when I sign it, they look at me and then they go, "Are you famous?"
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Literacy Journeys with Linda. I am so excited about my guest today. Her name is Miss Candy Pettiford, and your socks are going to be knocked off when you hear all the things that this talented woman can do. But we are going to zero in on her literacy journey, and so thank you for joining me. Hi, Candy.
Hi, thank you so much for asking me, Linda. I love being here. We got lots to talk about, so let's get on it.
I told the audience you're a talented woman. Okay. Tell me about all the things that you do, your background, Candy.
Okay, well, my background is I came from Minnesota, and my mother was one who taught us all to sing, and my mother was a writer. She wrote for the newspaper. She was an editor for West Publishing Company in St. Paul. And so I kind of got my writing bug from her and just started from there. And she would read to us and all those kinds of things. And so what really got me to writing was when rheumatoid arthritis came into my life, because I was bedridden, didn't know what I was going to do, just laying there in pain. And I never had any books published until after rheumatoid arthritis. You believe that? After rheumatoid arthritis, then I started laying in the bed. And what I love about it is when you write, as you know, Linda, you're somewhere else. You're not in your body. You are gone. Your imagination is somewhere else. You're flowing and you're going. And it's just like, wow, I love, and that's not all that I do. I do, shadow boxes. I make shadow boxes. I got to grab my little bones here, my oxtail bones. As you can see them here.
Yes.
They're oxtail bones. They're actually from a cow.
Wow.
They're bones. And I make, my husband does the stuff for the rib bones, and I do rib bones too. So he does put the holes in them, and I just make all kinds of stuff. But like we were talking about literacy, because I could talk about all the different stuff I do, because I like doing clothes.
But wait a minute. I want to go back and break this down, because you've told me so much in just a few minutes.
Oh my goodness.
What part of your life did the rheumatoid arthritis kick in? Are you talking about when you were a teenager or you're an adult?
Oh, I was 30 and a half. I was a flight attendant for the airlines. I had been flying, I'd say I'd been flying about, 17 years, and I had to leave.
Oh, no.
And yes, it came to me when I was a flight attendant. And I loved flying because I would travel all over. I would be with all kinds of people.
Sure.
But then arthritis came, and I had to let that go. I had to let go of the flying. Okay. So that's when it started. And then I was pretty well bedridden, and I just started with a pen and paper, and I just started writing.
Well, let's tell the audience what you do. You're a children's book author. Okay. Yes. I mean, I've got like 10 things.
I'm an actor. I'm an author. I'm an actress, motivational speaker. I redesign clothes and this hat. I created this. I kind of do all kinds of different stuff. So I keep myself busy, even though my hands, if you can see how my hands look, the way they look, I still try to keep busy. I still say, hands, we're going to work. We're going to do stuff. We're going to move. I don't care. You're in pain. Let's keep moving. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you still have your voice, your voiceover actress, right?
I'm a voiceover actress. I'm glad you mentioned that, because every time I forget to let people know that I have children's CDs. I have children's CDs, and my grandkids call me CandyGram. So I've got a CD called CandyGram's Closet, and that's a secular CD. And then I have one called CandyGram's Prayer Closet, and that one I took from the Bible, all the different stories about Jonah, the man with the withered hand, the blind man, all different kinds of things, and the different stories. And I have songs about it. I have songs about Moses.
You wrote these songs?
Yes.
Can you sing them?
I write songs too, but people don't know also, before the COVID, I was going into nursing homes. And because that is a part of people where people just forget about them. They forget about the nursing home people. So I go into nursing homes and I do shows for them. But since the COVID, I've had to stop doing my shows in nursing homes. I have at least 12 shows. Yeah, and I want to get back to the people that are at the nursing homes, because they are so forgotten. But that's a hot zone.
So Candy, take me back to Minnesota. You
Okay.
said about your mother and us. What do you mean us? Like your family?
I am number 9 of 13 children.
13?
And as a matter of fact, I'm writing our legacy. It's called A Family of Greatness and Courage. We were the only African-American family in Minnesota, in this certain small Swedish town called Lindstrom.
Mm-hmm.
And we grew up. It was just my family members were the only African-Americans in that town. Swedish. So they called us the Black Swedes.
Did you pick up on any of the language?
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Very much so. And so then we would go with my mother, who played the piano, and we would go to different churches and we would sing. My mother always told me, she said, have a scripture ready or have a poem ready, have something ready. So if I call upon you, Candy, don't say, I don't know. You know, I have to be prepared. And that prepared me for my life because ever since then, I've always been on stage. Thank you, Mommy. Yeah.
Okay, tell me. 13 children in a family. Did you have books in the home? How did your literacy develop?
Well, basically the literacy developed by the Bible. We learned the different Bible scriptures. We had to learn our scriptures. If we didn't have our scriptures, we would have to get down from the table and not have dessert or whatever. But that's really where the literacy started. It started really with the Bible. And then my mom would read us different stories or things that she wrote, you know, in the newspaper. Or listen to my column that I wrote and whatever. And so literacy came that way, from the Bible, pretty much.
So you learned to read when you were a young child. You were a reader.
Very much so. Yes, I learned at an early age how to read. Early reading was very important. Very important.
Now, tell me about. Eventually, you got to St. Louis.
Well, I got to St. Louis because my husband was with the Boy Scouts. We came down because of the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
And loved it ever since, you know, and did a lot of things with them, talking about my books, my children's books.
Please tell us about your children's books.
Well, this one here, All the Things You Can Do When You Don't Watch TV.
Woohoo!
Well, you know what? We got so many children that are, and it was just so, I hate to say it. It's sad, though, that the kids are now going to be online.
Yeah.
At school. And that, you know, so that means that's another avenue of a screen. There's so many screens: movie screen, TV screen, laptop, notebook, your cell phone, all these screens. So all the things you can do when you don't watch TV, when you don't have these screens around. That I want kids to, you know, get out there and get active, do something, be active, be creative, because television tells you what to do. You're not creative. So that's why I want them to, you know. And then I've got another book here called There's a Dragon in Our House. This young boy realizes his mother he finds out his mother's a smoker. He didn't know it. He kept telling his parents, he said, I think there's a dragon in our house. I'm smelling smoke. I'm hearing some coughing. There's a dragon. And they said, oh, just shut your door. Well, the smoke came through the door and he kept hearing the coughing. He said, I'm going to go downstairs and check. Went downstairs and found his mother. Now, that book has saved a number of children's lives because I've come in through the back door by letting the parents buy the book who were smokers. And one lady came to me a year later afterwards when I came to my granddaughter's school. She said, do you know that I've quit smoking? She said, it's been about a year since I quit smoking because I read that book to my kids and I realized I'm the dragon in the house. So she said, I quit smoking.
Powerful. And
I was like, wow, save some lives. So I kind of use that to come in the back door for parents who are smokers. Then I have another one called Chiquita and Anita, the Mosquitoes. Chiquita and Anita, the Mosquitoes.
Okay.
This one deals with bullying. That's a huge subject. You know, mosquitoes bully us every summer. So bullies come and take things. So those are the 3 children's books I wrote. I'm on my 4th one, Linda, believe it or not.
Woo, good.
It's called, and I don't have a picture of that, but it's the Fable of Fuzzy the Firefly.
Fuzzy the Firefly, okay.
Yes, and I wrote that because of my grandson. I want him to know, don't hang around the wrong crowd.
Ooh, good message.
This firefly, he told his grandfather, he said, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go to the city. I want to see how other bugs live. Yes, I want to fit in.
Candy.
So sure enough, he fit in.
That's an awesome book. I hope you get that out there real soon.
And so what happens with him, he leaves, tells his grandpa, I'm going to leave the country. I want to see what other bugs are doing. The more that he kept being around the wrong bugs, the more his light went out. And so that's why I wrote that for my grandson. But then and one day I was just walking in my bedroom and I overheard the Lord saying, write a prison workbook. I know nothing about prison, but one thing I've learned, Linda, is you never say, no, Lord. I said, I'll get busy, I'll get started, I'll get going. And so lo and behold, I got started, I got the skeleton going, and a young man got out of prison and he helped me put the meat on the bone. And so now I'm trying to get it published and I'm just excited about it. I'm excited about what's going to happen. People all have said to me, well, when you get it done, I've got a son that's in prison. I've got a grandson. I've got this. They're all trying to get me to get this book done. So I'm really trying to get that book done. So that'll be my 9th book.
Candy, what is all of this doing for your heart, mind, and soul? All this literacy, your reading?
What it's doing for me, it's keeping my mind occupied. Because as you know, we are all to hunker down. We're all, if we go out, you wear a mask or, you just get in, get out. So I have to really be careful. So what it's doing for me, it's really keeping my mind focused. It's keeping me engaged. It's keeping my imagination. And imagination is wonderful. Like there is a thing that they used to say, a black college used to say, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And it is.
Yes.
It's a terrible thing to waste. So for me, it has done a lot of creativity. It's really a new awakening.
Wonderful.
I've woken up now from a sleep that go here, run here, go here, keep going, go. Now I'm hunkering down and being creative, which is wonderful.
That sounds beautiful, and I agree with that. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. So keep it creative. So Candy, I want to get your perspective on the audience, the kids that you're talking to.
Yes.
You mentioned that you feel like kids are getting a lot of screen time. Do you think that the children that you encounter are receptive to reading? Are they eager readers? What are you finding with this generation of kids?
It's funny you're saying that because we just got a message from one of my husband's bosses who's of the Boy Scouts, and he has 3 young kids. He says his son fell in love with all the things you could do when you don't watch TV.
Okay.
And just fell in love with it. And so then we sent him the other books and fell in love with the book about the bullying. So children the thing is, there's a Kindle. Well, who wants to look at something on a Kindle? Another screen. You want to feel that book in your hand. You want to feel that paper. You want to smell it. You want to turn up. That's it. You want to turn a page. Have the book in your hand. I go to schools and talk to the children, and they love it. Then they're asking me all kinds of questions, and then they call me CandyGram. CandyGram. Well, what do we do when we do get a bully? So it's mind-boggling how the children are responsive. They're very responsive, and to what children really, and they love to have a book in their hand. And when I sign it, they looked at me and then they go, "Are you famous? You're famous." And I'm like, "No." "Well, you got a book? And will you sign it for me?"
Yeah, they are like that.
They're precious. I love it. So I keep going to the schools whenever that will happen again. And maybe I'll be able to do something online as well, with the kids as well. So I'll talk with teachers and maybe Zoom online and do a book thing with the children.
Yeah.
That might be a new avenue. It's a screen, but oh well, until they can go back to school.
Yeah. I think more people need to hear your books because they have very important messages, Candy. What about literacy overall? Why do you feel it's important?
It opens a door that you may not have thought of. Like I've written other books, which are self-help books. I've written a poetry book. Maya Angelou, she read my poetry book and I ended up signing it to her. And because her poetry opens the doors. Like I have another book called "All the Things You Can Do When You're Laid Up, Laid Off, or Retired." Well, what do? Some people lose their mind when they're laid up, when they're laid off. They don't know what to do. Some woman said to me, "My husband's been retired from his job and he just does nothing. He just sits and watches television." And he's like, "When are we going to eat, honey?" She said, "He's just bored." So what can you do when you're laid up, when you're laid off, or you're retired? So that's another door. Open a door. What can I do? And then I wrote another book called "What Do You Do While You Wait?" There's a lot of times where there's downtimes where we're waiting.
Yes.
Well, what do you do when you wait? A lot of times my husband may be doing something, whatever, and I need him to help me do something. Well, I'll do something else, make up the bed or whatever while I wait. What can you do? It opens a door. think in your mind, imagination. What can I do while I wait? While I'm waiting for this to happen? While I'm waiting for the doctor to call me back?
Yeah.
Or as we know, in the doctor's office, you can sit there for a long time. When I was a child, if we said, "Oh, Mom, I'm bored," she said, "Oh, honey, we can't have that." So what she would end up doing is she'd grab a bucket of water, sudsy water, she'd get a scrub brush, and then after she would do that, she would end up saying, "Okay, I need you to wash this wall down. Here's a wall here." Well, no. Oh, I don't want you to be bored, honey. I don't ever want you to be bored. So start washing the wall now. Do that wall and then do that other wall over there. I never, ever said I was bored again. No child ever be bored. So parents, if you're listening to me now, don't ever let your child say, "I don't know what to do. I'm bored." Oh, really? Come on now. There's so much you can do. Literacy opens doors to an imagination. It's creativity. Yes.
Are there any authors that you like, or what kind of, do you do reading yourself, leisure reading yourself?
I love Maya Angelou.
Yes.
And also Toni Morrison.
Yes.
She has a book called
The Bluest Eye.
The Bluest, yes. And it's because that's all she saw. And I can relate to that because that's all I saw in Leinster, Minnesota, was blue eyes. So I didn't see anyone that looked like me. So I didn't have anyone to identify with. So that's a good book. That's why it's good to have somebody who looks like you. And that's why I like when I do my book, I have a child that is an African-American child. Why are there books? There needs to be more books that look like me, like you.
Okay.
And so they can identify and say, oh, I wish I had blue eyes. No, you don't, honey. Be thankful that God gave you the eyes he gave you. You're supposed to have those eyes and be proud of that. So I like Toni Morrison. She's another one. Very fantastic. Yeah. And of course, like I always say, I love the Bible. So I stick with that as well. Oh, and I also like Langston Hughes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Life for me is no crystal stair.
or what about I sit in the kitchen and I eat.
Yeah.
And I'm beautiful, whatever, but I eat in the kitchen.
Yeah, I used to have those poems memorized, like you.
Yeah, I did too.
Well, CandyGram, Miss CandyGram, you are a woman of so many talents, a woman who is never bored.
I'll never let you know it because I don't want to watch the walls again.
Well, Miss CandyGram, I'm calling you what your grandkids call you.
Well, that's what they call me. And everybody, when I go to schools, everybody knows Miss CandyGram.
Yes.
And now I'm CandyGram the Great.
Really?
I have a great grandchild. So now I'm CandyGram the Great.
Oh, that's wonderful. What an
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, as we close, I just want to see if you have any parting words, any other inspirational things for people who may poo-poo reading. Reading, I'm not interested. What are they missing out on? I mean, just give them some words of encouragement about literacy.
Well, what they're missing out on is an imagination and escape. Sometimes we need to escape the doldrums. Like we said, the boredom, or I'm just sitting in the house. Reading that book will take you someplace else. You hear the door open and the creaking and someone's coming up the stairs and your imagination is going, and that's why also I love my CDs because that's the same thing. It's like you're hearing and your imagination is going, as the different songs are being sung or whatever. So literacy, please don't give up on literacy. Don't give up on reading. Reading will open doors for you and more doors and more doors. And the more you read, more doors are open. So many doors. So I want to tell people, don't give up on reading. Continue. Open those doors and let those doors continue to open and more will open as you keep reading.
Well, Miss CandyGram, I'm going to put a link in my description, if it's okay with you, to all these resources that you mentioned.
Yes.
To your website. I'm going to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Literacy Journeys with Linda. You've been listening to Miss Candy Pettiford. We call her Miss CandyGram. Please check the description box for all the resources that she has, so many, and you will really enjoy her books. If you like listening to these Literacy Journeys with Linda, please subscribe to my channel. Literacy is Liberation, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, Miss CandyGram. Thank you
for having me. It was a blessing. Bye-bye, dear.
Bye.